Las propuestas multijugador tienen más enjundia si detrás se encuentran mentes brillantes que provienen de proyectos icónicos como Little Big Planet o Fable. Ese es el caso de King of Meat, lo nuevo de Amazon Games y Glowmade, un estudio formado por veteranos del sector que tienen una idea muy clara: ofrecer diversión directa y desenfadada en unas batallas multijugador online llenas de humor con flema británica y toneladas de opciones de personalización para que vosotros mismos organicéis las carnicerías cartoon de vuestros sueños. Aprovechando los Playdays del reciente Summer Game Fest, hemos hablado con Jonny Hopper y Mike Green, cofundadores de Glowmade, para que nos den las claves sobre su proyecto más personal.
First, can you tell me a bit about the objectives in the dungeons? Because I played a part where you have to reach the end, but are there any other objectives like, I don't know, eliminate certain enemies or something like that?
Yeah, there's so we built I'll go back. There's a like a bunch of different objectives in the game. So we built we have certain events where it's about, surviving for 3 minutes. We have another objective in there, which is about searching the dungeon for its heartstones, and those are all kind of defended by the enemies. And then, we're looking to add more, post-launch as well.
The kind of, one of the beauties of the game and the sort of creative mode system is that the players can kind of build their own objectives in as well, there's a whole logic system underpinning kind of all the level design, the tools, and you can use that to kind of set new requirements for how the players can progress through the game.
How important is the community in this game in terms of adding new content every certain time?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things we're really excited about, actually, is from a community perspective, the game is about community and sort of user player created levels, so that's one part of it, and the other part is we have a post-launch plan for what we would think we want to do, what we can do, but we're really keen to hear from the community about what they're excited about and how we can kind of support them better.
In the video, you talked about your past as creators of games such as Little Big Planet and some games like that. How has the process of creating games in that genre changed in those recent years? Because I suppose it's more complex now, in terms of creating something that the community can change along the years, right?
I mean, there's certainly a lot. There's higher expectations of what you can do, what you should be able to do. There is, there's more opportunity to do more, I think. We've got kind of bigger, beefier consoles and PCs, which means we can make bigger, more interesting kind of levels. There's less restrictions in that way. The challenge there is, it's sort of, you've got more power, less restrictions. How do you still build a system that is intuitive and accessible and really fun? I think that's the main kind of thing with the tooling that we've made for creative mode, is it's got to be fun. It's got to not feel like work. It's still a game, and to kind of lean into that when you've got so many different options for what you could do, but just kind of always bring it back to that thing of like, well, is it fun? Does it still feel like a game? Is it accessible and is it easy? But is it still got that kind of the power and the flexibility to make the content that we want to be able to do?
It was also really important to make sure that someone who maybe hasn't used or hasn't built their own content in a game before, to make it as intuitive as possible, so they can make a dungeon within a couple of minutes. And then, it's very easy to kind of place a room down, and then you can change the layout of that room. You can start putting props down. So, we wanted to make sure this was focused in such a way that you shouldn't feel too intimidated about giving it a try. And I think they'd be really surprised at, what they can build, if they've never, built something in a game like this before.
We saw a lot of humor in the game. Are there any restrictions you cannot apply in a game such as, I suppose, gory violence? I suppose the tone is very comic, right?
So the game is kind of rated teen 16, and that gives us quite a lot of flexibility to make certain kind of jokes. But we didn't want to make a game that was super ultra violent and super gory. Like, it's very much a game about having fun and enjoying yourself, and it's we wanted to kind of do that so that it's like something we feel comfortable doing as well, we enjoy, and something that is kind of attractive, I suppose, to people. The style of it is very bright, very kind of very colorful, and we kind of the actual gameplay kind of reflects that, I suppose.
Yeah, we wanted to just things where you go, oh, that's great.
Bro, a little bit like, oh, that's a little rude, but nothing too much, because that yeah.
Yeah. And what kind of feedback are you receiving now from the players? Are they, creating something that you didn't expect them to create, or are they giving you any new ideas you didn't think about?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the best bit about this kind of part of the game, which is, we've got a lot of players kind of making levels, making content behind the scenes. And when they make stuff that surprises us, when they'd use the tools that we made in a way we didn't expect, I think that's one of the best bits.
I mean, you should check out after this what Adam, one of our creators, has been building from at Summer Games Fest. Like, he's been incredibly creative. So you should check that video out. But I've already been surprised. We're running a public test server at the moment, and the creations that the people on the build, it's already blowing me away with how creative they're being. So I just I can't wait to see what everyone creates when the game's live.
I always am surprised by how people customize their characters and what they do. You've got a few levers to pull, I suppose, and we've kind of deliberately tried to make it quite freeform with not too many restrictions there. So it's quite you can place decorations on your character and stickers. You can place them wherever you want, which gives people a lot of opportunity to kind of have fun with it and to make new things.
Is it harder to to shine among the actual the present games, because so many games try to make something like a party game or a family, almost family friendly approach? Thinking about games like I don't know, Among Us or something like that. Is this harder now that it was like in the past?
I mean, there's a lot more content, a lot more stuff out there. I think we didn't really think about it like that. We started out with making a game that we wanted to play together, and as soon as we were like, we want to play together, we were like, okay, it's a co-op game, and we kind of went from there. And King of Meat has got so many kind of unique elements to it. It stands out on its own, I think. Just for what it is, rather than trying to go up against other stuff. The art style is unique and beautiful. The mechanics of the game are really interesting, and there's a surprising depth to them, but it's still quite accessible. It's got an entire creative mode. So it's got the kind of all these different bits that make it something kind of really new.
We tried to build it in a way where it was more, it's kind of sandboxy, it's dynamic, and you sort of have the surprise of what the creators have built within that. And we've played the same dungeons multiple times, and someone will do something, they'll unleash a glory move on you at just the wrong time, and you just get this cascade of events that you could never have predicted, and and then everyone's just laughing, which is that's the goal for me. If we can make people laugh and they're having fun, we've succeeded.
Oh yeah, and connecting to that, favorite element of the game in terms of weapon or trap or enemy, do you have a favorite one?
I mean, my favorite character is Buzzworth Billy. He's the mascot character. He's a giant buzzsaw, and it turns out that he's got a padlock on his zip. He's locked inside his thing, and he's a weird character. He's probably my favorite one.
All right, for you?
For me, I love Grand Smashing. Like, it's very Monty Python-esque. It always makes me laugh, and it just unleashes chaos. Giant horsehoof smashing something to bits, sends debris everywhere. Love it. Yeah.
Oh, you mentioned Monty Python. So, is there a key difference in British humor compared to American humor or the rest of the world that only British can bring along?
I don't know. I mean, I think I don't know whether there's a different thing, but there's certainly an identity to it. We are we're good at laughing at ourselves. We're good at being a little bit kind of like, we're a little bit down on ourselves, I think, and that kind of is an interesting. We don't tend to think much of ourselves, I suppose, and so we kind of the humor's kind of dark as well.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely something we've tried to channel. Like, you know, if you talk to a lot of the, you know, the characters in the hub, or, you know, you look at how some of the locations have been dressed, like there's some really good storytelling there that, you know, can make you feel quite uncomfortable. Like, you should definitely check out Buzzworth's costume, like, you know, because he's locked inside that costume, right? And so, you know, as you talk to these characters, you'll learn, you know, what the predicament he's in. And I love the fact that the game has elements like that make you kind of go like, what is going on here? Like, why is he trapped?
We didn't set out to make a comedy game, but it is just kind of like continuously funny. And that's one of the things I love about it, is that when every day I play the game, something new will happen. Some piece of dialogue will come up, a character will say something unexpected, and I laugh out loud. And I keep discovering that stuff, and that's the real skill of the team, I think, is that they just keep delivering on all this sort of stuff. But there's so many jokes in there, and there's so many like visual jokes or word jokes, but there's so many of them are just throw away, like I don't care about it, you know. And that for me is really cool, because it's not trying too hard to make you laugh, but it just does.